Good evening to everyone, and thank you for joining us today in the Tuesday webinar by the Franchise Talk. My name is Wissam Azzeddine. I'm the Business Development Manager for the Global Franchise Market, and I'm joined today in this webinar by Dr. Edith Steiner and Mrs. Mary Benzakin. Today we have a very interesting topic which talks about women in franchising. Now, according to the International Franchise Association, women are currently joining the franchise industry in bigger numbers than ever. Women are attracted to investing in an established business model that has a proven system, set processes, and ongoing support and training. It's also been witnessed that the demand of having a franchise as an alternative career for women has been also on the rise. For now, I would like first to introduce you to our speakers. Dr. Edith Steiner. She's currently the CEO of U.A.E, a privately held company that invests in brands, offering superior products and services and delivering compelling returns. Prior to U.A.E, she was for over a decade fully involved in over 70 full-scale franchise business consulting projects for small and large-sized companies in the Adriatic region and Austria. For Fran Andrea, leading franchising consulting company in the Adriatic area. Also, Dr. Steiner worked for strong global franchise brands in Austria. Her focus was on reinventing and improving the franchise systems, building franchisor and franchisee relationships, improving business unit results, and helping in internationalization of the companies through franchising. Her extensive experience also in development and management of franchise business models initiated her studies into PhD research on a global level about risk and incentives in franchising contracting. Joining us today also is Mrs. Mary Benzakin, the CEO of U.A.E Beauty Salons. Mrs. Benzakin was born in Spain and is a mother of 3 children. Along with her partner, she decided to set up her own company 14 years ago, and as they love the beauty sector, they have decided to go and get involved with that. They created their own brand, U.A.E with the dream of bringing it internationally. As of now, U.A.E has over 200 beauty salons and are presented in 10 countries. Mrs. Benzakin obsession is giving her customers a good service in order to maintain customer loyalty. Now, I would like to remind all attendees that you can ask your questions in the chat box, and the speakers, of course, will be more than happy to answer them after the presentations are over. You will also be able to download your certificate of attendance after the webinar is over. For now, Dr. Edith, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Azzeddine. It was a pleasure to hear everything. Good evening, everybody, and best regards, and a very nice weather we were sharing in Vienna, in Slovenia, in the last 2-3 days where I've been traveling. And I'm very honored to have the opportunity to be a part of such a beautiful theme that we have today. And I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to all the beautiful and great questions you're going to have. And I was really compassionate when it comes to women all around the world looking for statistics in the right direction, moving in on a global level, which is very nice. And on the other hand, I talked to European Franchise Federation, and for me, it was an honor to actually also talk to them and give them the opportunity to say, okay, who would also be one of the persons we could share. And that is why U.A.E, Mrs. Mary Benzakin, came up as a very good idea, which I was very happy to have her as a part of this webinar. The Franchise Talk could share as women in franchising as one of the leading themes, I hope, in the future. So I'm going to share my presentation. I think enough has been said about me. There you go. So we've had a lot of years been researching as a scientific point of view how women refer to franchising and how women refer when it comes to different products and services. So on the other hand, we had a significant decrease in number of women in owners, generally owning their locations and owning their business. And we have seen in statistics in US, and the last statistics I have found in UK. For European Union, I couldn't find it anymore, or maybe in some kind of Asian countries, that also a lot of, like 30% of all private businesses are being owned by women. And there has been huge, large increase when it comes to all these women being part of never-ending in curiosity, on the other hand, how to be an entrepreneur and how to become an entrepreneur. What we have seen, I think most of us know the figures a little bit, and I'm going to go just into the theme presenting how women are attracted to franchising when it comes to their skill sets and when it comes to their personality traits. Women work in terms of seeing and perceiving their talents and trying to see in what kind of a way they can develop themselves. What I have seen here, that in generally as an observer and maybe as a scientific person, I've seen in franchise scene, when it comes to franchisor and franchisee relationship, women are in average, I'm going to say in average, much more loyal, and they're much more perceiving the relationship with the franchise company on a side like helping, caring, being there, and trying to listen what their philosophy and values are. And also, if you're entering some kind of franchise businesses as a woman, first of all, on the first meeting, when we review the chemistry of both sides, we can see if they get along with each other or not. Then personality, what women have is more approach to collaboration, working together, working in teams. And that is why in franchise relationship, sometimes women have a better sound or a temperature when it comes to franchisor and franchisee relationship. Due to the fact, also on the other side, franchising as a business model, since women are more financially cautious, they choose franchising or licensing business rather in comparison to their independent entrepreneur way that they could choose maybe for some kind of services or products. On the other hand, they are more pragmatic when it comes to their family. And they say, I would like to use the time to work and be adaptable and be flexible and be my own boss. When it comes to choosing being on a certain level of business when it comes to corporate life. In general, women also try to see the relationship choosing between their professional and private issues that they have. Private, I mean, is the family, are the children, is the support of the family. On the other hand, when they choose to go into franchising, they are very keen to have the family support in order when there are tough maybe days or not so easy days, that they can have also support at home. When we go to the picture or try to see the insight of maybe franchise experts in UK, they report that women have been rising and they are getting also certain franchise support. It doesn't matter if they're a franchisor or a franchise candidate. And statistics, or I can say some percentages, have been drastically rising since 2011 to 2017. You can see that the female ownership jumped by 83%, which is significant and great number. On the other hand, in comparison to male ownership, increased only by 13%. What we are trying to show here from a scientific point of view, as a franchise consultant's also point of view, that women try to choose franchising when it comes to being available for their family and have their own businesses, which means at the end of the road being flexible and adaptable to their business. I can see also lately in European Union, in US, and in some of the also Asian countries, there have been networks and initiatives where women can join and share their experiences and maybe have some opportunity to learn about new things. franchisors, due to the experiences that they might have with women entering more and more franchising business, try to target in their franchise marketing also women on a little bit higher basis, maybe. And when it comes to their business model, they are trying also to see the products and services targeting also women, women perspectives, women's values. With these values, they try to talk to them or communicate with them so they can find their business concepts also interesting. On the other hand, I'm showing you some infographics. We have pay attention to motivations for opening a business. This is in general. And if I compare those statistics, like 31% ready to be your own boss, which has shown rise also in female entrepreneurship interest when it comes to franchising, wanted to pursue your passion. Women try to combine and compromise between their professional and private life. And I think at the end of the road, after kids or their children have a certain age, they try to search their more opportunities and what they love to do. Or maybe 15% are also dissatisfied with the corporate life or corporate lifestyle they have. So, so you can, I'm showing this statistic so you can relate maybe to other general data that it's not on a female side. It's been used in general why women actually enter also franchising. You can see in general picture of entrepreneurship being globally present in every state, on every continent. What I can say, maybe a short advice to women, and I'm not going to be very long because I would like to leave the questions to the listeners that are or watchers that are hearing to us, and maybe that you can get within certain questions, which is my intention today, not to be, of course, provocative. It has been shown through the different discussions when it comes to female entrepreneurship or women in franchising. What are they sharing is to give courage or to encourage all female entrepreneurs just to show a certain level of curiosity. They have to be curious and they have to be like trying to learn some new things, be interested into the themes that they love to. And from your initial point of view, due to have kind of a intuition development that like try to understand what your next move is. And then when you know the next move, try to size or target the opportunity on your local market. Also, in general, on a global market, because as a society, we work all over the world with all kinds of IT connections and channels. On the other hand, women reflect to themselves on a higher basis. And I think thinking about themselves and thinking about their talents and trying to hear what intuition is saying, it would be nice to pay attention to that. And of course, I added at the end, like work hard, but I think many women work hard and many women try to deliver their perfection and passion and values into their products and services, which is one of the intentions that I brought this theme in order to encourage and to hear you women from this part of the world. And maybe you can share some experiences on your own based on your questions. So thank you very much. That will be everything from my side. I hope it was not long. I gave some of the overall information. I'm looking forward to all the questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Steiner. That was very insightful from your end. Thank you very much for sharing the information. I would like to remind the audience, please, to submit any questions you might have to Dr. Steiner. And then at the end of the presentations, of course, we'll raise the questions and get, of course, the answers from the experts. For the time being, I'm going to we're going to start with Mrs. Mary for her for the second presentation. I'm going to share a short video. That was a quick short video about the brand of Mrs. Benzakin, the Onias. We're going to share the presentation for Mrs. Benzakin to start. Mrs. Benzakin, you're currently on mute. If you can please switch on your mic.
Good evening.
Yes, perfect. We can hear you now.
Good evening, everyone. I thank you. It's an honor for me. It is my experience as a woman. So I will be delighted to share each. First of all, I'd like to also to be nice with me with the person all this time. My advice is, as a woman 14 years ago. My story of challenge, very, very, but what I have learned about men or women, their dreams. So if you can't do it. As Mr. Sedin, my partner, 14 years, south of Mali. We pursuing that and around Latin America and Spain. We are also expanding the part of the Europe. The uñas in Argentina, Chile, we started in 2000 of experience and product. Start company started to grow this year. We have a lot more than employees in the world, and we are to the in a journey and also opportunity. For what I very important career, it is to be confident in yourself. You are confident and you will bring you will be able to do it. Our brand, the U.A.E values. U.A.E our brand are very within key values are innovative, sustainable, and healthy enough to be successful. You need to have as a brand values, build on it your brand. It is very important to be a company sense for customers, employees. It's to be a great. Hi.
Yeah, you can go ahead, Mrs. Benzakin. We can hear you. I think the line is a little bit cutting, but it's fine if you can proceed, please.
As I've said, lean on the of sustainable suppliers. Looking the best, the high end and service. Reason why our own products value is health and to have security. All our cars and that are the services. Okay, one thing that is very important and it is very fashion now. Started several that we need to identify services. Manicure and pedicure, sculpted nails, large services. When you think about having how to say, build a franchise, you have to have in mind you and process for all is not yet. It you have to have in you have to have a system control that can ensure a high standard of quality. And one of our main you go to Spain, Mexico, salon, you receive services with the same products. You are for a brand a franchise and why a focus I see you have meet the know-how or experience along your journey, your experience as entrepreneur. And between an entrepreneur and a franchise, the capacity to deliver your franchise. The reason why the training, the are very important to deliver to the franchises. The kind of franchise we are looking for is investors and that have in business, have sales and sales, very, very huge skill to motivate, to make that beauty has some skill planning and control and it's true to set up a case learn you all these franchisee and say in my view passionate that you have to if you really want and for us it has incomparable also with the very strong moment but and you will you want for finalize I want to say that if you want to be a franchisor you have to have in mind that the success of franchisor is the success of the franchise. So this along there I can thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Benzakin, for your presentation. I apologize to everyone if somehow the connection wasn't very stable, but of course the presentation has been very informative, and we'll be happy to share any information. If there are any more questions you'd like to ask Mrs. Benzakin in regards to her brand or any other questions about the success she had in expanding her brand, we'll be more than happy to assist you with that for sure. For now, I think I will go to the Q&A. We have several interesting questions that came up, and I will address to Mrs. Dr. Steiner and Mrs. Benzakin. One of the questions that I have is, which I think I would love to hear from both of you. It's a very interesting question. Dr. Steiner, the question says, what advice would you give to a lady who wants to enter the franchise business and become her own boss? Any tips? And part of the question, yes, is there any tips that you would like to offer? I know you tapped into that, but if you want to give a bit more of insights, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much for the question. I was looking forward to these kind of questions. If you want to enter the franchise business and become your own boss, everything starts with your competencies and with your passion. It's very important to know in which business you can find yourself very successful and where your pluses and some kind of challenges are. And when you based on your values, search for different business models that you like. What does it mean? If it's beauty, if it's education, if it's sales, if it's digital business, and when overall look at all points of this, then we have to get to the financial competences, if I may say so. So in regards to that, it would be nice if you would visit a certain financial institution, if you would maybe talk to some of the business people, entrepreneurs, and pitch talk them in terms of if they would like to be your partners. On behalf of them, if you would like to have talks, you have to do a very good research of a local market to perceive it and see it as you as a person selling these products and services in terms of business model. I can also tell that maybe in Germany, France, there are different businesses being valued now in comparison to maybe Asian, American, or Middle East market. It depends on what kind of evolution is a certain franchise or business industry you want. So this is the way, when you start, look at your competences and try talking to some recruiters what your strong benefits are, and then see and communicate the recruitment process to all franchise business models that you would like to communicate as to you. You see yourself in this business. It's also nice work if you think about it. So that would be my answer to first question.
Thank you very much. That's very interesting to know. We have another question. Actually, I think I'll ask Mrs. Benzakin. The question talks about with women juggling their responsibilities for their families, how do you manage a business that is time demanding and requires dedication to succeed? And of course, Dr. Steiner, you're also more than welcome to answer that question too.
This question, because when you really want something, you have to find your to invest a lot of time and in your dream. I'm a mother of three. I don't feel I have made any at all because I in parallel I grow up my children and I build up my company. Of course, you have to have help. You have to be surrounded with people in your organization support. Yeah. So it's been a experience. Is for me to be. I think you have this emotion to focus your projects at the same time you grow a family.
Thank you, Mrs. Benzakin. Dr. Steiner, do you have any more comments other than focus, passion, support? Do you think anything else that you want to add on that?
I think Mrs. Benzakin added something on a great scale, which is important. But of course, in crucial moments, it's hard to achieve. And when the support comes, then in these cases, other people with their thoughts and maybe just being present help a lot. Because entrepreneurs, when they find themselves in the tough moments, it's not easy, and nobody wants to be in this kind of a. Although, I mean, Mrs. Benzakin definitely know how it is to be in the moment when you don't know the solution and you try to search for it. It is interesting moment being with yourself, and from personal point of view, you can just only rise from these moments and learn yourself what you are actually made of.
Thank you very much for the insights, Dr. Steiner. There is another question for you, actually. It says, a question for Dr. Edith. Based on your experience with franchisors and franchisees, what franchise sectors would be ideal for a woman apart from health, beauty, and education? I have another question that is very similar that has been asked also is what line of business do usually women prefer to franchise?
Okay, I can start with the first one. Maybe Mrs. Benzakin has something to add. I looked into that question. The thing is, all refers to your competencies, as I said before. And on the other hand, we could see in a presentation of Mrs. Benzakin-Unas, you could see the sales competences, right? You could see the presentation. It said on the second place, it is one of the important things. So women usually, because they know health and they can refer to it, we can go to the competence, we can go to the motto being very on a high level with female entrepreneurs is sharing is caring. Yeah. So everybody knows that. On the other hand, education is one, but I can tell you it's in terms of your personal sales skills or your ability to be turned down 40 times per day and still stand on your right position and believe in your dreams. That's number one. The second one, I would say, I wrote me down. You can go into the businesses like, let's say, kindergarten. We can go to tea shops. You can go to dog and pet franchise shops or being a dog sitter. Real estate franchise. Do not forget, in Austria, one of the best and the most successful franchisee for one of the real estate brands is a woman. Yeah. Then business services. Business services are in increase in terms of franchise businesses, from renting flowers to renting printers to renting having cleaning services. And then on the other hand, you have a digitalization process, which is happening on a higher scale. So if you have these interests to do the digital marketing, digitalization in any kinds of form, refer to these concepts. These are very important. My experiences 10, 12 years ago on franchise fairs in Western Europe, there were food and beverages all over the place when it comes to franchise fairs. Now we have less food and beverages, we have less retail, we are going into the period of very much into services, of course, complemented with the perfect products when they go into. So that is why it's your personal choice, and it goes to the discussion with somebody as a consultant, what kind of business process you have to go through in order to decide which brands you're going to contact.
Thank you very much. And if I can share also a comment on that, I absolutely agree with you. We can feel the same happening here in the region. The trend, whether it's women in franchising or in general, the trend is shifting a little bit away from F&B and more is becoming into services. It's maybe a longer run kind of investment or return on investment to expect in terms of franchise, but that's where people are trying to diversify, trying to change. And I think what you said, that women fit perfectly in service-related franchises. So that was very interesting comment, Dr. China. Thank you for sharing that. I will go into, we have a couple of more questions that came up. One of them is saying, would women be ready to franchise work that require hard effort? I think Dr. Steiner, you're mute if you want to comment on that. Maybe I can have this answer from you, Dr. Steiner, and also from Mrs. Benzakin. I would like to hear both of you, please.
Could you repeat the question once again?
It says, would women be ready to franchise work that require hard effort? I think at one point we somehow tapped into that women usually multitask a lot between family, work, and so on. But this is maybe in a different terms. The question was raised, would women be ready to franchise work that require hard effort, or they try to just get away from it? What would you say from your experience, Dr. Steiner?
I would definitely say women are not afraid of working hard, and I do not think they are afraid of these. If you do doubt yourself, don't, because self-confidence is being as a great challenge for women. And as one of the great business women, she said, sit at the table with women. Do not go away from the table where they're meeting and having different discussions. So this is in these kind of times, it's being encouraged. And don't push yourself from these kind of meetings. And I think Mrs. Mary has maybe some things to add, definitely.
Yes, I need to ask the same question to Mrs. Benzakin. I know that growing the brand to now having over 200 was not an easy job, being a family, a mother, also at the same time to handle a lot of things. Mrs. Benzakin, if you can share some insights on that.
Of course, I don't want to transmit, but I want to feel is more interesting than talking about. It is true. Moment now today, I am surrounded about with men. Is women, but
Mrs. Benzakin, I think your mic is on mute. I'm sorry, if you can just unmute, please. Yes, thank you.
You are the unique entrepreneur as a franchisor, an expert, or in a meeting, or when you talk about nationalization, you have to convert instead of being fear of that. So at the end of the day, feel it's harder in cases for a man. Not for that reason.
Thank you, Mrs. Benzakin, and I couldn't agree any. I would agree 100% with you. I think probably nothing is easy, but with passion, I think passion, managing time, and of course, having a focus, there is no impossible, for sure. So that's absolutely agreed. I agree with you on that part. I think we have one last question before we wrap up our session today. It makes a lot of sense that women choose franchising rather than entrepreneurship on our own. And this is one topic, one point you have discussed, Dr. Steiner. Generalizing, women are less risk averse, take less rash decisions, and are more balanced, their nature, compassionate, candid, and so on. But what does the future hold for women and franchising? And how would you think we can support women who would like to go into franchising? A very interesting question.
Yeah, I like it. I like it very much. First of all, it starts with education. It's if we referred into the past with our mothers and our great grandmothers and so on, their lives were different. We are on a step in a, how can I say, in average small increase when it comes with teaching children. More in general, as a mother or a father, you refer to your daughter or to your son in a certain way how they should behave, and they see from you. So to take this further step in order to help women, it all starts with education of children and what they see in you and what they reflect in you. That's one of the things. The other thing is we have on a global basis going female encouraging organizations, institutions. If you type into the Google Best Asia Female Entrepreneurs, you can get some of women who are organizing free of charge some of the courses, some of the digitalization courses, and so on. I found it for myself very successfully, and I did it. Encouraging, it starts with, we say in Adriatic region, don't refer to a woman as a wolf to wolf. Try to encourage her and see the best in everything you can. And that, from my personal point of view, it doesn't refer only to women, it also refers to men. On the other hand, in comparison to male and female entrepreneurs, we are not that different. We are just perceiving the environment on a different way, on a different basis, on a different structures and values when it comes to family and business and what we have learned from our experiences. So I think on the internet, or you can contact me if there's anything. I know there are certain also franchise association who try to encourage women, and you can receive some advices and you can receive some feedbacks in terms of what you would like to do when it comes to entrepreneurship and when it comes to franchise industry that you want to be in. Yeah. Did I answer the question, or was I too long?
Well, no, I think you did pretty well. Thank you very much. That was very informative, of course. And I'm sure a lot of the audience would like to hear from an expert like yours with all the experience that you had, Dr. Steiner. Has been very insightful. Thank you very much. I think that's all. I don't think so. We have any more questions. I would like to apologize again to the audience if there has been any misconnection at one part from Mrs. Benzakin, but please be rest assured that we'll be happy to share the presentation with you all. And if there are any questions you would like to ask or get in touch with Mrs. Benzakin or Dr. Steiner, please let us know. We'll be happy to connect you, and I'm sure they will be happy to answer any of your questions, whether it's a brand, whether it's about the experience. Of course, they'll be able to assist you further with that. I just want to remind you also about thanks again, of course, for joining us today. And I would like to remind you that the next webinar talk about choosing franchise as a second career. It will be held on December 8th. Please save the dates. It will be held from 8 to 9 Dubai time on December 8th. On the other hand, also, I would like to remind you that the global franchise market is taking place from 15 to 16 November 2021. And please feel free to get in touch with me to discuss how the event can support your entry into the MENA market. And again, if there are any, as soon as we're done with this webinar, you'll be able to download your certificate of attendance. There will be a short survey that you have to complete, but then you'll be able to download your certificate of attendance. I apologize again for the connection issue if we had. If there are any questions that you want to ask, please let us know, and we will be happy to assist you with that. Thank you all for joining us today. I would like to thank you again, Dr. Steiner. Thank you very much also, Mrs. Benzakin, for joining us, to all the audience who were part of this webinar. And we look forward to meeting you again all soon. Thank you very much and have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.